So yesterday we were actually high in the spirit of independence. We were welcoming the spirit of sense of an authentic, no, the spirit of an authentic sense of independence. This is what basically that we were actually receiving yesterday. And it is actually has come with this willingness to even hold space for things that I used to hold back. I'm realizing there were certain things I used to hold back, or things that I used to question, information that I will receive as a download, because at the time I didn't even know that I download energy unconsciously. That has more to do with whatever that I'm currently going through in life. And I tend to act as a guiding light in my life. So what happened is this: I receive information from my divine state that is acting as both a catalyst of change and also a problem solver. And sometimes of the problem solving, guess I don't mind in an ego state to be a catalyst. Sometimes I do mind, because sometimes the information that is coming through me as a catalyst is heavy from an ego lens of seeing, is big, it's wide, and it's outside the box, outside the norm. And here I am, I have to be vulnerable and open. And some friend of mine said, much is given to whom much is given, much is what? You guys already know. Something like that. In a sense that there's a lot of responsibility that comes with having to host truth, having to hold that energy of truth, of pure authentic truth that is not diluted by any ego state of mind. So it comes with a lot of responsibility. And I guess at a time when I was so much more inclined to respond to life from an egoistic state of sin, then it used to bother me that I have to be the vessel to hold space of this truth, of this information, of this light, of this wisdom, and to a point that I'll be like feeling under, in the sense that, I think at the time the lens of insecurity was so high. And now I see the difference, that I've done the work when it comes to insecurities and understanding my insecurities and how they show up and all that stuff. It has led me to a position where now I feel a deep sense of secured and okay to be now that vessel. I'm very much aware of the fact that I am a vessel. I am this vessel that actually divine energy expresses itself through it. And I'm also aware that as a vessel alone, I have these kind of energies that comes with an egoistic state of seeing, that in the past I've actually used them as the truth, as the main truth. Hence the awakening to remembering who I am, my reality, that I'm not just an ego that is formed by concept and belief systems and programming and all that stuff. I'm more than that. Wow. That's remind me exactly the voice that I had when I was 18, looking at myself. And the voice said, you're more than that. You're more than your appearance. You're more than your beautiful features in your face. You're more than how you are appearing as a person, what you're wearing, what you have. You're more than that. The voice said this when I was 18. So I'm actually reminded of that now. So this sense of security in me, which is very vast and very deep, it has now led me to this realm of authentic spirit of independency. Like, as a result of having done this work with my own insecurity, having to face them, one, but also to be able to name them. Like, this makes me insecure. It was like more of acknowledging and also of like holding space, and also like recognizing how actually I'm wired and how that state of seeing or lens of seeing was actually impacting my life. And having done that, it has actually released now my energy to the state or realm of whereby I am now feeling secured in my beingness, knowing that, okay, there are actually shadows that have been created by this lens of seeing that actually stem from a fragmented state of seeing and resulted me acting in a certain way whenever I'm actually having a certain encounters in life. And having that knowledge and understanding about my sense of self, it liberated me now from those ages where I would feel like I have to act and fuel those, triggers. Instead, it has made me become more aware of them to a point that they're no longer affecting my energy, they're no longer triggering me, they're no longer moving my energy. Instead, I tend to choose now to open up myself, stretch my mind to be more present, lean towards them as to connect deeper with my sense of self, and as to kind of like hold space for everything to be as it is without me now having jumping around and trying to having control of how things are. No, I don't mind, if even if a thought of insecure comes, it's not an issue, because one, I've come to understand, I feel like something that usually causes confusion and stress in our head is the lack of understanding of whatever the case that we are currently going through. And normally in a human mind, when we don't have understanding, we tend to default in stressing and wanting to have control over that issue, and that's why we act in ways that in the end they self-sabotage us. Hence, we will feel somehow about life, situation, things, and people. It's because whatever that case is actually reflecting back to us something that is yet incomplete. Incomplete in the sense that we have not pinpointed the root cause of discomfort having as a result of whatever the case that we are currently facing, or situation, or people and stuff like that. But once we pinpoint it, once we recognize it, once we acknowledge it, once we accept it, once we embrace it, and really like see the value it comes with, because truth be told is that whatever that is challenging in life, it's not there to burden you. The intentions of having stressful or challenging things in life are not meant to burden you or make your life miserable or stuff. It might feel like that, and it will feel like that, especially when we don't have that lens that actually help us to create sense of clarity in our mind, where we see things for what they are, not as we would like them to be. Then of course we're going to always ending up feeling somehow sort of a way about things, people, because there is an incomplete information that we are telling our mind is true, and it disturb and bring a sense of discomfort in our nervous system and influence our next move and decision that we make in life. So the sense of security, it comes as a result of having done that work, that process of holding space of your own insecurity, and facing your own fears, and really, and leaning towards those discomfortable situation that you don't. Because through doing that, you are actually training as it's like a skill. You're learning something, some new skill of how to now navigate things that you would in the past easily dismiss them because you didn't feel comfortable to open up towards them, because they didn't make you feel in a good way. Because as human beings, that is normal for us to always look for something that makes us feel comfortable, good. If it disturbs our peace of mind, if it makes us, then we are quick to dismiss it because it's just wrong. And that's how we are wired when we are actually coming from an egoistic state of mind. It is normal for all of us to act in that way, but that's not the only lens that as human consciousness we are meant to experience as living beings. We are also meant to expand, to expand, to grow, we expand and to ascend, to reach a state of enlightenment where now there is a sense of unison to all these things that we have experienced, all this path of our lives and all the encounters that we have. We going through these life circumstances, actually it happens for a purpose, because in the end we somehow get to that peak in life where we understand the necessity of things. However way we may respond or react to life, it's to life way is perfect because it's the process, it's meant to be like that. But to us as human beings who lack the state of seeing things from a total perspective, a broader perspective, a clear state of seeing, a sound mind, a still mind, then we of course, when you don't have that capacity to hold space for such energy like that, then we're going to respond with the opposite. So the spirit of authentic sense of independence, that's what we were celebrating yesterday. We were celebrating this, new realm that now we come to where we have so much clarity now, Hence, you also mentioned that, we're in a state where we can see things as they are. And it's just now like, it's right here, one thing to know things and gather it in your head, but if it's not yet has matured to the point where it's functioning within you, it comes automatically for you to know. You like to know in a sense, like, because you can know in many ways, but to know, okay, to read your energy, yes, very important, because you can read rooms, you can read energies of other people. Sometimes we are gifted to do that, but then sometimes this is what I also understand, if you haven't experienced it personally to you, how you do that to other in you, like let it reflect to you. It's one thing to read other people's energies, one thing to read the room, that's one thing. Okay, we all gifted different levels of things of how to read rooms and stuff like that. Some are very high up there, some are here in the middle, some are below normal, natural. But if someone has the ability to read the room and they're right here and they are able to apply that skill of reading room in their own moves, this is called congruence. Because yes, if someone can read room at this level and they're able to use and apply that information, because this information, this ability to read rooms from this, it's a gift that has come to you as a gift coming from your ancestors. It's a gift coming from your bloodline. It's given to you so that it's going to help you. It's going to guide you. Okay. But sometimes here's a funny thing, because like for me, for example, when I realized that I was gifted with self-awareness. A sense of self-awareness is very high to me, but then I did not know how to align it so that it aligns with my energy and it works together. Because naturally, the gift is there. Okay? I have the gift of sense of self-awareness. I'm very much aware of many things. And I can read other people's energy because that's what is happening. This is how I actually read the energy of human consciousness. But then I think in the past it used to affect me in my life because now I was using the skill in a way that it was not sustainable. Okay, so I'll be reading, but the lens in which I was using was influenced with a lot of programming that was not pure and authentic. So now here you are, you have an authentic gift, you're given by gods, your ancestors. This is your skill, this is your gift that you came with in this world. Yet to use it, it's working against you because you have not awakened to your reality that you have the skill, but you are not even aligned with it. Your ways, your reasoning, your approach in life say otherwise. Okay? Yo, Jesus Christ, this deep is like I'm telling somebody. Something. Yeah. So I had to learn. I feel like this journey of self-discovery has helped me to realize, one, my gift and my abilities, and has also helped me to highlight in my psychic abilities, spirit of discernment, sense of self-awareness has always been there, but now I'm aware of it. Like, okay, I have this, I have this, I have this. How do I now use it to work for me, not against me? And I must say, since I have asked that question, how do I make what I have to work for me, not against me? It has actually taken me to this journey of working with my sense of insecurity, because that sense of insecurity, it's just based on fear, mental fearing the worst, the unknown. You're afraid to take risk in life. You're afraid to put yourself out there. You're afraid to start something new. You're afraid to approach people. You're afraid to share your ideas. You're afraid to express your sentiments, what you're feeling. You're afraid just to exist in the authentic way of how you are. So you block your gift. You block everything when you entertain the spirit of insecurity. The more you choose to entertain, the more you agree with the spirit of insecurity to drive your mind. Hence, you feel some sort of a way about yourself and life and other people, because you are not coming from a state of being whole and secured within your own skin, within your sense of self. There's a loopholes in that need to be recognized by you in due time, and it will come, God knows when. But that's one thing that I'm talking about myself. Now I can feel 100% comfortable to be myself, secured in my own skin, express my own reality with how I see things. No question, no doubt, no overthinking about nothing. No, anyone is placed in a pedestal. Nothing is like high or low. Like simply just what I am breathing through and what is felt right now, that matters. Like my mind has actually readjusted to that state of breathing, feeling, flow. Breathing, feeling, flow. There is nothing in between, and I'm very much aware and present. So my sense of self-awareness is heightened, and I'm grateful because, one, I come to recognize that is my gift, to be aware. But now my awareness was focused too much on the external world, and it was working against me. So now that my sense of self-awareness is focused, like my attention is here and being aware of everything that is taking place within me, whether it's my narrative stories, my reasoning way of thinking, or my nervous system, my body reflexes, whatever, I have actually channeled, concentrated my energy into that, to the point that when I meet people who are not actually in the same level when it comes to sense of self-awareness, I can easily pick it up. I can tell people who are trying to put up a face, who are trying to put up a cover, who are trying to, say one thing or double standards, because I have lived there. Like, I know what it's like to be in a state of being, fake to myself, where I pretend, where I want to put a certain upfront, you know, I know exactly what it's like, all the signs of being insecure, when you are not yet secure to be in your own truth and who you are. You have not discovered yourself. I can easily pick that because I have been doing that work for years and years and years and years, and it has finally, blossomed now. Hence, I can feel secure to talk about things that in the past they were so challenging for me to even think and imagine those things. The thought of it will just, throw me out of the road and will actually, make me feel some sort of way, because this thing of holding the thought of holding space for such conversations like this were just so huge for me in the past. Like, oh goodness, that's so huge. Then that's, that shows where are you now and what is controlling. At that time, insecurity was just ruling and reigning over my mind, and that's all I could do. And at the time, that's all I could see at the time. Hence, I was acting like that and the way I did. But now I am actually in a different phase. And yesterday, as again, we're celebrating this new realm that we have actually entered, where we are secured in our sense of who we are, authentic self. We can freely express it like a dance now. It's beautiful. And even if we see, thoughts or narrative stories of insecurity, they are no longer bothering us, because in the end, we know, oh, we've been there. We've been there, and it's not longer a big deal. We don't have to move. Um, it's like when a child is learning to walk and they fall the first time, the whole house can stand up and run around and get triggered. That is if there's no one who is more understanding of the phases of growth. Do you understand? But if someone they won't even be triggered. But initially it's like that, get triggered, the baby falls the second time, same thing. Then at some point people start to relax. Even if the baby falls, they learn to help themselves out. They just somehow, it's no longer like as shocking as it was. Same thing with the state of being insecure. It makes you act in crazy. And another thing that I'll highlight with the sense of insecurity, it is made in a way that you have to wake up, because it comes with a lot of anxiety. So many people who tend to face anxiety attacks and all panics and stuff like that, those people, I'm telling you, they've been entertaining nothing but insecurities in their lives. They were not, no one can ever even take me down on this one. They were not coming from this authentic state of seeing, of being secured. And as a result, hence, instead they've been fueling the sense of being insecure, and that has been driving to the point it has created instability in their brain, in their mind, in their nervous system, to a point that it has placed them in that. I'm talking about personal experience, and that's how we are wired as human beings. So you get panic attacks and anxiety attacks out of, it's more like an alarm, it's more like a signal that you get saying, hey, wake up, and it has to, because once you get it, then you want to do different. This is when now you become mindful. You become mindful because if I do not take care of my body, if I don't take care of my mind, if I do not practice mindfulness, if I'm not breathing properly, and if I'm not focusing my attention to good energy, definitely, because when you have experienced those anxiety attacks and all that stuff, you realize one thing, that the need to entertain insecurities, one, but entertain this realm that requires you to step outside of your authenticity is actually self-sabotaging. Do you understand? So when you realize that is the core cause of you acting in the way you act, then you cannot go back, because now you've actually pinpoint what has been creating discomfort and chaos in your life, and by nature you want to actually correct things. So hence you now do things differently, a shift in your mind, a change, a transformation. You're more focused into doing that and become the best version of self that is going to help you not to experience the same. Nobody enjoys experiencing anxiety attacks and panic attacks. No one likes to live in a state of being insecure, especially if you've tasted the water of what it's like to be in a state of a secured, authentic sense of secured state of of mind, where you feel grounded in your energy. Once you experience that, child, it's very interesting. Like someone has taken your wisdom truth out that has been painful, without a fuss, without pain, like in a magic way. That's how I actually describe it. You will never. It's like you bow down, you vow to yourself not to go back to that place, because you know what it comes with. And you also find yourself willing to do changes consciously, because you just you appreciate what you've experienced in life, the new energy frequency, what it does, the impact of it, how it makes you feel. Of course, initially it's not easy to embody that, but your goal is to get to that state where you feel fluid to live in that kind of a realm where you are feeling always secured. And if you're not feeling secured, at least you have a method of how to get yourself there. Do you understand? So basically that's what I've been actually just reflecting and looking back, and then connecting this, and I'm like, yeah, that's what actually is happening. Love and light. Bye.